Hello. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to Hedonistic Hiking, to tell you a little bit more about us and especially which tours have availability for 2025. My husband Mick and I created Hedonistic Hiking in 2007. We were already living in Italy at the time. Our company is based in Australia, where we spend half our time, and the rest of the year we are here in Europe, especially in Italy. We feel very fortunate to call both countries home. We love what we do. We enjoy welcoming guests to our tours and ensuring that we maintain the same quality through all of our tours. And for this reason, we have always made sure that one of us will always be leading the tours. We have a small team of people who work with us here in Europe. They are the people who are our tour managers, and they look after the creature comforts of our guests. They drive a support vehicle, they prepare a delicious lunch, and they liaise with both restaurants and accommodation. We're specialists in Italy, where we have lived for over 20 years. Some of our tours start in France, hike back into Italy, Austria or Slovenia, hiking back over the border into Italy. And we also have one tour on the French island of Corsica and one tour new for 2025 in England. Our tours are fully guided, and so we look after you every step of the way. We are an Australian-based company, so many of our guests come from Australia, but we welcome guests from English-speaking countries around the world. And the tours have a maximum of 16 people of like-minded, fun-loving, enjoyable travel companions. Our tours are not for young children. We design them to appeal for people between 50 and 70 years old. We sometimes welcome people younger, and we certainly have people who are in their 70s and some even in their 80s. Once you put on your hiking boots, age becomes irrelevant. But the most important thing is that our guests all have a love of food, wine, and walking. Our groups are made up of couples, friends traveling together, and also many solo travelers. It is a wonderful way to travel if you are a solo traveler because you do have time to yourself to enjoy what you like doing with a bit of peace and quiet, but it also means that in the evenings you can sit down with some lovely travel companions and enjoy a delicious meal. Our website has lots of information about the itineraries for each tour. We design the walks ourselves, so we can always help you choose the best one for you. We grade our hikes, 5 being the most challenging, 1 being the most leisurely. Once again, our website will give you the day-by-day itinerary. A level 1 walk is a leisurely hike with most walking on dirt roads, time spent in the cities as well. Whereas a level 5 hike, you will find you are in the mountains. There is a lot of ascent, descent, and you are often on rocky mountain trails. So we have something for everybody. And most importantly, we are guiding you, so we're looking after you. And our website also gives you lots of information about how to prepare for the hikes, how to get fit to ensure that when you arrive with us, you are able to enjoy it as much as possible. Food is an integral part of our tours, and the tour manager will spend the morning shopping in local shops, markets, and then preparing a delicious lunch of fresh produce, lots of vegetables and fruits, some locally made cheeses, cured meats, and perhaps a nice glass of light local wine as well. This ensures that you are well fed and have a nutritious lunch to help you on your way in the afternoon. Food and wine is a marriage made in heaven in the Mediterranean, and so we really enjoy seeking out small boutique wine producers to choose wines to match the meals. Light easy drinking wines for lunch for those that like a glass of wine with their lunch. But in the evenings, we ensure that you are able to taste some of the top drops of the region and discover many new grape varieties that you may not be familiar with back home. In the evenings, we all dine together. We work very closely with our restaurants to ensure that we give you a wonderful selection of the specialities of the area in which we are walking. Some evenings you will find that you are in a simple trattoria. On other evenings you may be in a Michelin-starred restaurant. A wonderful selection and also very well balanced to ensure that you don't feel overfed, but you are enjoying the best the region has to offer. And of course, since you are hiking, it is guilt-free indulgence. We design all of our walks, and that includes choosing where we stay. We always choose locally owned and managed hotels. Sometimes it may be 5-star, 4 or 5-star luxury, other times a little bit more simple. But something that never changes is the welcome that these hotels give to our guests. They love to see us. Mick or I will arrive always with the group. So for us, it's like taking you to places run by people that we have known for many, many years. So the hikes are the most important part of the day's itinerary, but we don't walk every single day. All tours will have a non-hiking day, and this day will include other activities, and these are all an included part of the activity of the tour itself. Often we'll have a cooking class when we join with a local chef to learn how to make some of the local specialities, which of course we will then dine on the fruits of our labours afterwards. We also visit some wineries, castles, museums, so you really get a wonderful insight into the different regions. Our tours are all inclusive except for your flight to arrive in Italy or France or Austria, wherever we are. You will find that we always meet you either at an airport, but more often at a train station or at a hotel that is close by the train station. We drive these two vehicles, two 9-seater minibuses, and we use these to transport you to the start of the hike each day and back to the hotel at the end of the day. So usually a little bit of time to ensure that we can cherry pick the best hikes around the areas in which we stay. On the tour, we will usually stay in 2 or 3 hotels during the week, or 8 or 9 days, so you're not moving on every day and you really get to feel at home. So after that brief introduction, let me let you know what tours still have availability for 2025. It's already very, very busy for us and we're well over 90% booked, but we do have some spaces here or there. Some of them just have one spot, so we'd be looking for a single traveller, but others have 2 or more spots. At the end of focusing on this year, 2025, I will just touch on the other tours that we have in mind for 2026. So first of all, first thing in our season, which starts at the end of April, we'll be running our tour Lucca, Volterra and the island of Elba. This is a tour where we stay in 3 different places. First on the mainland, where we explore beautiful medieval cities, Lucca, Volterra, and also visit San Gimignano. And then we take the ferry across to the island of Elba. Of course, Tuscany needs no introduction when it comes to the food and wine, but we also introduce you to different wine areas within Tuscany that you may not be familiar with. Once in Elba, we're in a glorious hotel right on the coast, and we visit Portoferraio, which was home to Napoleon for several months at the beginning of the 19th century. Also in May, we have a couple of places on our medieval Umbria tour. This starts in the Tuscan small city of Arezzo, where we have a local guide who takes us to visit some of the beautiful frescoes by Piero della Francesca. Day 1 on our tour is never just a travel day. We always have some activity, or whether it's a walk or a cultural visit, to make sure that the moment you meet us, you will feel that you are on holiday. After the visit to Arezzo, we then moved to where we'll be staying. Once again, 3 different hotels for this tour. And we're hiking between the eastern borders of Tuscany and then into Umbria. We stay in a beautiful abbey that's been converted into a lovely hotel, and then in a ducal palace when we arrive in Gubbio. Spring in central Italy is glorious. Meadows full of wildflowers, lovely green rolling hills. At the end of the week, we find ourselves in Gubbio, a delightful town with Etruscan, Roman, and medieval history, and we time the tour to ensure that we arrive there for a wonderful medieval spectacle where we have seats to enjoy the parade and also the competition itself. Single travellers, we have one spot on Slovenia and Friuli. This was the first tour that we did that went outside of Italy. Slovenia is a beautiful little small country on the northeastern border of Italy, and we start there in the wonderful capital Ljubljana before hiking back over the mountains and into Italy. Slovenia is often referred to as a little Switzerland. It's green, it's clean, and the people are extremely welcoming. We're hiking in the Triglav National Park. It's a level 4 tour, so it is quite rugged at times. The area has a fascinating history, not just old history, but also important 20th century history, which Mick and I enjoyed telling you about. 3 different hotels, crossing the border into Italy on foot, and exploring the wonderful food and wine that Friuli and also Slovenia has to offer, with a couple of wine tastings to enjoy. Interesting culture as well, a couple of UNESCO sites which we will be visiting. New for 2025, we have our first tour in England. July can get very, very hot in Southern Europe, and so we've decided that for next July we will head north to England, where we're unlikely to be suffering from overheating, and we'll enjoy the beautiful green rolling hills of Derbyshire and the Yorkshire Dales. It's a region that they're regions that are close to our hearts. I myself studied at university in Sheffield, and Mick and I have recently bought a lovely little cottage in the Yorkshire Dales. So we're taking you to places that we really love in England. Beautiful national parks, rolling hills, waterfalls, rivers, and lots of historic interest as well. We've organised for some guided visits to this abbey, Fountains Abbey, and another couple of places along the route too. So back into Italy, the autumn starts with us heading over to the island of Sardinia. Sardinia is known for its pristine beaches, but we start our tour in the centre of the island in the Gennargentu National Park. Although the hiking is wonderful, we rarely see other hikers on the trail, so you really feel like you are discovering a new area. We stay in 2 different hotels. The food in Sardinia is rustic and delicious and extremely fresh. There's beautiful cheeses to enjoy as well, and we do visit a cheesemaker to see how he makes his pecorino. And the history. Sardinia is part of Italy, but it has a unique history, especially its Bronze Age Nuragic civilization, and we have a guided tour to one of the Nuragic sites. And of course, we do go and see the beautiful turquoise waters on the coast and have a lovely boat trip before a delicious seafood dinner. Directly after Sardinia, we head to Corsica, and this has just the one place remaining. We stay in 3 different hotels when we're in Corsica. Firstly on the south in Bonifacio, before heading onto the west coast and then inland. Delightful hotels, spectacular hiking. Corsica is known as a hiking destination, and the rugged trails are often on the stunning granite rock. Beautiful food once again. Corsica produces nearly all its own food, so nearly everything that we eat and drink whilst on the island is produced on the island itself. There are some long distance trails and we touch on these. So we're seeing beautiful hikes with beautiful scenery all around. And There is, of course, the coast, but there are lovely, pristine rivers as well, where we have the opportunity to take a dip on the hotter days. We head to southern Italy in October. We go to the little region of Basilicata, which really is a region where it seems like time has stood still. It isn't known particularly by tourists, so you feel like you're discovering somewhere quite different. We start and finish in Naples, then we head to a little village called, or town called Maratea, where we're hiking above the sea, but Maratea itself is on the sea. Then in the middle, we're in a lovely little town in the heart of a beautiful national park called the Pollino National Park. They're in autumn, so as the leaves are starting to turn. And then in the end, we go to Matera, which is a town that people do know these days. It once was called the shame of Italy because people were so poor they were living in caves. Then the government decided that this was no longer allowed, and so these caves in more recent times have been turned into boutique hotels, which is where we stay. Also in October, we have a place left on our northern Tuscany and Ravenna. This tour starts and finishes in Bologna, the wonderful culinary capital of Emilia-Romagna, and then we head into the Mugello area north of Florence, a lesser known part of Tuscany. Beautiful hiking, 3 different hotels. The second hotel is what we refer to as an albergo diffuso, whereas in addition to some rooms in a small hotel, some guests are accommodated in small little apartments within the village itself. And the village in October has a wonderful, lively chestnut festival, which we are there to enjoy. Lovely walking in the foothills of the Apennines through beautiful woods, which once inspired the Tuscan poet Dante and also the artist Giotto. And then finish with a day of culture in Ravenna with its wonderful mosaics, where we have a brilliant local guide to bring them to life. So our website has all the information that you need with regards to the price of the tours, how to book, and the single supplements for those single travellers amongst you. Just to emphasize once again, they are all-inclusive tours. So once you are with us, you will feel that you're being very, very well looked after and get to enjoy lots of different experiences along the way. So 2026, I will just touch on the different tours that we have on offer. If you're signed up to our email list, you will hear from us in January with the 2026 dates. So, but it's never too early to put down an expression of interest. Etruscan Trails is another tour that we offer in May. This starts and finishes in Rome. It focuses a lot on the Etruscan history of this part of central Italy. 3 different hotels, one by a volcanic lake, then in the stunning city of Orvieto, before we go to the wine area of Montepulciano. Abruzzo is a tour that we would offer either in the spring or in the autumn, beautiful at either time of year. The hikes here are in the Apennine Mountains, 3 different hotels, including a beautiful albergo diffuso, which is a unique experience. We have some level 5 hikes as well. So up in the Alps, this one starts in Nice, finishes in Turin, heads into the Mercantor, the mountains above Nice, before crossing over into Italy and the Maritime Alps. It's a beautiful area for hiking, lots of mountain lakes, lots of fauna such as ibex and chamois, golden eagles and marmots, and wonderful food and wine, of course, both France and into Piedmont in Italy. Austria in the Dolomites, starting in Innsbruck, finishing in Verona, usually to coincide with the opera festival in the Roman arena in Verona. So once again, stunning hiking in July when it's cooler up in the mountains, the snows have melted and you get to enjoy beautiful wildflowers along the way. This is our most leisurely tour. It's one of our most popular as well because the Palio of Siena is a unique experience. We're always there for the August celebration. The 12th to the 18th of August are the tour dates every year. It gets booked out years in advance. We ensure that our guests fully understand as much as possible of the folklore and the traditions of this amazing race, and we have grandstand seats to enjoy the race on the day. A few easy hikes in the countryside just to stretch our legs and work off some of the delicious food we're eating, but it's very much about enjoying the spectacle and living and breathing the Palio and the Sienese life at this time of year. We stay full week in Siena. Another level 5 hike that we do, it starts and finishes in Turin and heads up to the Val d'Aosta, one of the smallest regions in Italy. And on this hike, we stay in 3 beautiful hotels, one with amazing spa facilities towards the end of the week. And the hiking touches on the Tour Mont Blanc, the circular trail that goes around the mountain, but we also take you hiking in lesser known areas. Delicious cuisine, jaw-dropping views, and a lovely time of year to be there. Italy is known for its lakes, especially in the north of the country. This tour takes you to 3 of them. We start and finish in Milan, start with a guided tour of some of the highlights in Milan before heading first to Lake Como, then Lake Maggiore, and then lesser known Lake Orta. 2 of the hotels are right on the lake, and then the 3rd hotel is above the lake but still with lake views. So wonderful hiking, level 4, so partly in the mountains but with views over the water. This particular tour is one of the first tours that we ever did with Hedonistic Hiking. So the places that we take you to are places that we've known for over 15 years. One of the highlights of this particular tour is doing a full day on the Via Francigena, which is Italy's best known pilgrim trail. We also get to see how Parmesan cheese has been made, and at the end of the week we finish right on the coast on the Bay of Poets in a stunning hotel overlooking the Cinque Terre, and there's a boat tour for those that would like on the final day when we're relaxing. Tuscan Harvest is one of our more leisurely tours. It's a level 2. We stay in 2 different hotels. One is in the Chianti Hills, surrounded by vineyards and olive groves, and the second is in a small, not overly visited town in Tuscany near Siena. On the day that we move from one hotel to the other, we take you to Siena so you can explore some of the cultural highlights and also have a nice bit of shopping as well. More rolling hills for the walking, time to taste some wine, visit some wineries, and a cooking class as well. Another new tour for 2025 has been this one in Northern Lombardy, and so it'll be back on the schedule in 2026. This tour starts and finishes in Bergamo, which is just to the east of Milan. And after visiting this city with a local guide, we then head to the area of Franciacorta, renowned for its traditional method sparkling wine. And then from there we go right to stay right on the edge of this Lake Iseo, with some wonderful hikes in the Orobian Alps. And then from there we head to a town called Tirano, close to the border of Switzerland, and one of the hikes will be through the vineyards, and another hike will be taking a train into Switzerland and then hiking back. So lots of different things to enjoy, and lots of wonderful wines, of course, different wine regions to explore there. And finally, our last tour that we will offer is the Jewels of Piedmont, another one that we have been doing for years since we started our company in 2007. A level 2, so staying in just 2 hotels, a more leisurely itinerary. There's a cooking class, there's truffle hunting, there's a wine tasting, beautiful autumn colours, and we do take you up into the mountains to have a bit of a mountain hike one day too. So it's a beautiful tour. So our website will tell you a lot more than I can tell you in this short presentation, but I hope that I've been able to pique your interest and inspire you to maybe travel with us in 2025, or if not, in 2026. As I've said before, we're a small company, we run everything ourselves, so when you email us to ask questions, we'll be the ones to answer you. And so we can really let you know whatever it is that you might need to know about hedonistic hiking. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to hear from you soon and to welcome you to hedonistic hiking.